Namaste viewers, welcome to Gnana Degula channel. In this video, we will try to understand how the modern science and the ancient wisdom, particularly the Indian ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, how they described the fundamental components of the universe. But they both had different ways. The modern analysis, modern science dealt with these fundamentals, components or these elements in a different way than the ancient Sanatana wisdom, Sanatana knowledge in a different way. But before we go to the details, I request you to please like, share and then subscribe to my channel. Now coming back to the topic, this modern science, it classified all these elements. There are about 118 or so through a periodic table and classification of these elements. It did through a periodic table. It was called as a periodic table. This periodic table is the foundation of modern chemistry. About 118 known elements. There are many unknown elements also. We do not know how many. As and when we try to know, as and when we try to understand an individual element, they are organized in the form of based on atomic numbers, that is number of protons, and these are classified as metals, non-metals, and then metalloids. As you all know, people who have studied science, they would be knowing copper, gold, things like that, Conductors of heat, electricity are metals, which are malleable, ductile, all those things, all those properties. Non-metals, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, so many things, phosphorus, essential for life processes. They are found in gases and organic compounds also. And metalloids show properties, both metals and non-metals, both they show, like silicon, boron, things like that, they show both the properties. So here, each individual element has some specific properties. So the atomic structures are different. Like hydrogen is the lightest element, forming a compound in the form of water. It is found in water when combined with oxygen. Carbon is a basis for organic life, forming molecules like DNA like this. And iron is crucial for, we know that blood and so many things, structural materials, so many things. So now further all these compounds, all these elements combine in different proportions and different ways to form compounds, complex compounds like this, they give rise to different diverse materials and life forms we see around us. All these things are basically made up of these 118 or so elements. The permutation combination of these elements, gives rise to all other things that we see around us, all other materialistic world that we see around us. Now, in the ancient Hindu concept, the approach was a little different. So they recognized, and then they divided this into 5 Pancha Mahabhutas, 5 great elements. They did not go to individual items, they went to straight away to 5 different existence, how they existed in the form. One was called as Prithvi, that earth, which represents some kind of solidity, structure, stability, all these kinds of things. When you think of Prithvi, you have to think of things like mountains, soil, all solid structures, bones, everything that is around us. Whatever you see, which has got some dimension, which has got all those kinds of things. Solid state matter. That is Prithvi. Of course, in modern science, solid state matter, metals, minerals, carbon structures, all these, they classified this as solid state matter. The second one was called as Jala, Apaha. Prithvi, Apaha. Apaha is water. It represents fluidity, it represents cohesion, it represents adaptability, changing. See, water is adaptable. You put it in a pot, it looks like it takes the shape of a pot. You put it in a jug, it takes the shape of a jug. Like this, it goes on. So, this adaptability, example, rivers, blood, body, fluids, oceans, all those things, whatever you see in the liquid form, it is water. It is Jala Tattva. Prithvi Tattva, Jala Tattva. They said that this is the Jala Tattva. Of course, in the modern sense, it is called as liquid state matter. H2O, mercury, liquid, so many things are there. Now, the third division in the third among the 5 fundamental elements was fire, that is Agni. It represents some kind of transformation. It's a kind of energy, and it is also even metabolism is also considered as Agni. Example, sun, digestion, whatever food we eat, digestion, cooking, combustion, so many things. Of course, in the modern parlor, it was called as chemical reactions. The reactions that take place, chemically certain things happen. Heat energy, nuclear fusion, nuclear fission, all these kinds of things they come under this Agni, fire. It represents transformation, energy, metabolism, all these kinds of things. Now, the fourth type of fundamental element, that is Pancha Mahabhutas, was Vayu. Vayu means air, gaseous state. It represents movement, breath, dynamism, all these things. So now, from the solid state to liquid state to the gaseous state, where there's examples are wind, oxygen, breath, prana, life force, all these kinds of things come under this Vayu Tattva. Agni Tattva, Vayu Tattva. In modern parlor, it is called as gaseous state of matter, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, like this, it goes on and on and on, like that. Now, the last one was Akasha. Akasha Tattva, that is ether or space. You can easily or loosely translate into space. This represents the vast medium, space medium, where everything exists. Whatever you consider Vayu, Agni, Jala, then Prithvi, all these things exist in this Akasha. This is very essential, without which nothing can be there. Examples, sky, sound waves, space, consciousness, all these kinds of things. In modern science, vacuum, electromagnetic waves, quantum fields, all these things come under this. Probably you can put them under Akasha Tattva. Now, when you compare these two, in the modern science and the Hindu philosophy, the classifications are based on atomic structure in the modern science, based on existential experience and energy. Elements, there are about 100 elements. Here only 5 basic things. Inside that there are a lot of permutation combination, that is in the Hindu Pancha Mahabhuta philosophy. The focus is on physical properties and chemical behavior in the modern science. What are the properties of each individual elements, how they react, how they what are their existence, what are their physical properties, chemical behavior, all these kinds of things. But in the Hindu philosophy, it is more on a philosophical platform, more spiritual and material aspects of existence. How, what form they existed, what was those kinds of things. It starts from material aspects to spiritual and philosophical things like that. Now, regarding this scientific explanation, aspect of scientific explanation, atomic theory, chemical bonding, quantum mechanics, all these things are under this modern science. It describes an element like on these, on these things. Whereas in the philosophy, Pancha Mahabhuta philosophy, it is metaphysical principles. It is not physical, metaphysical principles. Of course, you have other things, based on this Ayurveda, yogic philosophy, all those kinds of things you have. Now, of course, the uses are chemistry, medicine, industry, all this. Even in this thing also it was used in Ayurveda, yoga, Vastu Shastra, spiritual practices. So many things it was used in the Indian context also. So these are broadly the differences. There are a lot more, but basically these are the differences that we can see from the angle of modern science and then Hindu philosophy on nature of classification of items and things like that. So now the thing is, many modern scientific ideas, they are in tune, they align with the ancient Pancha Mahabhuta concept also. In a lot of it's quite surprising. Let's go a little deeper. The role of Akasha and the modern physics. If you think of this as a thing, Akasha is described as the subtlest element that allows sound, consciousness and energy to exist. Akasha, and it's the subtlest element that allows that, and that has everything in it, of course. In the modern physics, space also, space, vacuum, it was first considered totally empty and things like that. But it is not empty, but filled with so many things, which can be called as some quantum fields, dark matter, dark energy, so many things. They all influence everything. This is how the modern physics also views vacuum, views space. So now, if you want to take the example, sound waves travel through air. They travel through air, of course. The medium is required for sound waves to travel. But they require Akasha, space to exist. It is required there, otherwise you can't. Even light and electromagnetic waves exist in the vacuum of space, similar to the concept of Akasha, like this. Now, Agni and chemical reactions, if you think on those lines, Agni represents transformation, it burns, digests, changes substances, all these things. In chemistry also, we call that as exothermic, endothermic reactions, combustion, metabolism. All these things, they have mirror the idea of this Agni, burning, digestion, all those kinds of things. So, if you want to take some example, the sun's nuclear fusion, that is hydrogen to helium, is Agni on a cosmic scale, on a super scale, you can say. Digestion in the body, in the human body, is governed by, we call that Jataragni, metabolism, metabolic enzymes breaking down food into energy, all those kinds of things are. You can take some example like this. Now, Vayu also, and the science of gases. Vayu represents movement and life force, that is prana. In science, they look at this Vayu in different ways. They identified, science identifies lot many individual elements like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, carbon dioxide. Of course, that's not an element, that's a combination of elements. So like this, which enable breathing, plant growth, weather systems, all these kinds of things, in science. This is described like that. Now, breathing in yoga, pranayama regulates vayu, affecting mental and physical health. The wind and atmospheric gases help sustain life, just like vayu sustains the body. These are some examples which we can think of. Then Jala Tattva and its life-giving properties. Jala represents liquidity, cohesion, adaptability, all those kinds of things. Science confirms that water is essential for life, making 60 to 70% of the human body. So blood is the Jala Tattva of the body, transporting nutrients and oxygen. Water's unique property of dissolving substances aligns with its role in Ayurveda as a carrier of energy, like this. So now the Prithvi Tattva. Prithvi Tattva, it is some kind of a solid matter. Prithvi represents solidity and structure. Science categorizes solid matter based on atomic bonds, forming metals, minerals, organic compounds like this. But here the solidity and structure is defined as Prithvi in the ancient Hindu wisdom. So now you can give a lot of examples. Bones in the human body, calcium, phosphorus, all Prithvi, all elements from Prithvi. Plants take minerals from the soil to grow and sustain all these things, Prithvi. So you can conclude that the union of science and spirituality are these some of these waves. The periodic table explains elements scientifically. Of course, while Pancha Mahabhutas describe them experientially and philosophically. Now, both these systems, the science and the spirituality, or this thing, reveal the fundamental building blocks of nature. They are the fundamental building blocks of nature, bridging modern physics, chemistry, and ancient spiritual wisdom. We can just think that way. Of course, many discoveries in science, such as quantum fields, energy transformation, and the role of water in life, closely align with some Hindu cosmology also. They may not be exactly alike, but the analogy appears to be more alike. So by understanding both, we can gain a holistic understanding of the universe. One based on physical observation and the other based on inner experience and metaphysical insight. So this is all about our modern science and the ancient wisdom. Viewers, with this explanation, we conclude this video. I hope this was quite interesting. I thought we'll just try to find out how both can be connected together. The modern science, or the Eastern, it's mostly developed in the East, no? So Eastern versus the Western concepts, like the Indian concept, how they could both be compared and understood. So thank you for your valuable time in listening to this. Please share, subscribe, and then like these videos. Please post your comments in the comment box, which would be definitely helpful to us for our understanding of your comments. Thank you.